Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Monday. It's Daryl here. It's coming up on 4:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Uh, I usually don't like to talk about personal stuff on here, but it's got to do with this coronavirus thing. I might have mentioned a little bit that I've had pain in my hip for about a year now, and it's got ridiculously bad, and I can actually hear the bones rubbing together. So I checked it out, and it's severe arthritis. There's no cartilage left; it's just bone on bone grinding. That was 2 months ago. The surgery, which I was looking forward to, because it's getting to the point where I can't walk anymore, and it's severe pain. And the surgery was scheduled for the day after tomorrow, and I found out Friday that it is canceled with no rescheduled date. Uh, no rescheduled date whatsoever. So, I didn't know how I would take this. I had a feeling it was going to be coming down the line. I think all of us are going to be facing stuff like this. There's a couple things. I go back to my recovery from drugs and alcohol. It taught me a lot about how to deal with life. Um, a week or two ago, if you had told me my surgery was going to be canceled, I'd be like, shit, I'm gonna want to die. I'm gonna seriously start contemplating suicide. And I love life, and I am not a person that talks about depression or suicide. But a week or two ago, I would have been like, I can't do that. The worst part is no relief in sight, not a clue. It could be a month, 2 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year. I don't know how they reschedule them. I don't know if there'll be a bunch put before me when they start back up again. It took 2 months just to get this scheduled. When you're in pain 24/7, every minute of every day. I had back surgery before, and the pain was just unfucking believable, and I wanted to die. That's that's I was already an addict at that point, but my addiction got much worse, along with my depression and serious thoughts of suicide back then. Okay, fast forward to today. I'm doing a lot better than I ever thought I would be. Uh, and I go back to the stuff I learned in recovery. Um, One day at a time, man. One day at a time. To think ahead, this is something they taught us when I first got clean. Because when you're an addict, you can't picture going without a drink for 6 months, a year. What about New Year's? What about my birthday? And it freaks people out. So they tell you just one day at a time, man. Just for today, I'm not going to drink. Or at the very beginning, they'll tell you just for this 1 hour, just for this 1 hour from 4 to 5 a.m., I'm not going to drink. And it works. It does. You conquer a larger picture in small chunks, and it becomes easy. It does. So I'm doing a lot better than I ever would have imagined. It's really not bad at all. It's kind of turned into a thing now where I just tell myself it's going to make me stronger. Sooner or later, I'm going to get through it. Just taking it day by day. Just for today, I got plenty to keep me busy. I'll be able to take some aspirin, get through today, and then I'll deal with tomorrow when tomorrow comes. And that's how you get through it. I bring this up too because this isn't about me. It's about I am sure there's lots of other people out there that are dealing with this very similar things. Probably a lot more severe, and that's another thing that's helped me stay positive is to remember that I'm lucky. You're as long as you're above ground, 6 feet above ground, you're doing good. You're doing better than a lot of other people. Keep that in mind. It could always be worse, and believe me, it could always be worse. Um, let's see. Another thing I want to talk about is these are other lessons I've learned. Uh, these are things I've learned. I have a hard time telling other people what to do. I'm not the kind of person that says you should do this or do this. Because I don't think I'm a rebellious, independent person, and I don't respond well to that. So what I do is I'm going to tell you what's worked for me. And like I've told you guys before, I don't say stuff I don't believe on this channel. That's my number one rule on here. I don't lie about. I won't tell you lies. I'm not going to make up shit. I'm not going to say something if I know it's not true. I'm not going to give you bad advice. Number one rule on here. All right, so I'm going to tell you stuff that's worked for me. Now, being at home, and if you're away from your job, uh, there's some pitfalls. Um, Back when I had the back surgeries, okay, I was a truck driver and I couldn't work, so I stayed home. And at first, when you first start staying home and you got free time on your hands, it seems nice. It's you don't like it, but deep down, it's kind of nice being a little lazy, and having some time to yourself. Uh, but deep down, I think we all know it's not good for you. It's really not. And here's the thing. What you do these first days, I learned this later. What you do for these first days, especially the first 3, 5 days, first week, what you do every single day, what becomes a habit to you? It becomes a habit to you. There it is, right there. It's going to become your routine, and once you fall into that routine, it's going to be hard to go back to normal. Now, a lot of people are saying that life's going to go back to normal. Don't worry about it. This is going to, I thought about it and I beg to differ. I don't think, I hate to say this, guys, but I don't think life's ever going to be the same again. We're all going to change during this time. I think our world's going to change. Our industry, our stores, the way we do business, the way we interact is going to change. Because over the next 3 days, 5 days, the next week, the next 2 weeks, we're gonna adapt to a new reality. Um, and then once this is over, once it passes, and it will probably won't be long. My top of my head, I'd say by June or July. But by then, we're going to be pretty ingrained into this, and providing nothing worse or new comes down the pike, which can happen. As we know, bad luck comes in threes, as they say. So who knows what's down the road? But what you're doing now is going to become your reality. And in 4, 5, 6 months, it's going to be, unless you're forced to, it's going to be hard to change back to where you were today. So be careful. My point here is be careful what you do, what you make your day's routine when you get up. For a lot of people, this is why I get up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I have to do it now. I can't imagine sleeping till the sun comes up. Like when I get up, it's dark. It's always dark. I never get up and it's light out. I can't imagine sleeping until the sun came up. I would feel like shit. I'd feel like I slept through half the day if I woke up in the morning and the sun was already up. But this is good. It is. It works for me. There might be some people that'll be tempted to sleep till 10, till 11, whatever, or even later. I've never slept that late in my life, even when I was drinking and using. But you got to be careful because it does become a habit, and you'll think you're enjoying it. You'll think like, this is nice, I get to do this. It's a little time for myself, but it's going to become your reality. And it's going to become depressing, and you probably wouldn't even know it. When you just spend your days with no purpose. As an example, every time I do a painting, the next day, I'll put it somewhere to dry, and I'll wake up the next morning, and it'll pop into my head. Oh, my new painting's out there. I want to see it. I'm excited to go out and see the work that I did the day before. I'm excited to remember to reattach to what I created the day before, and it gives me a purpose to get up that day. On the days that I don't really do anything, it's a depressing feeling the next morning. It's like, why do I even get up? Really, there's nothing really to get up. You feel like you want to sleep more. Once you start getting that urge to sleep more, that's a warning sign. Um, when you're making up excuses to sleep later and later. Um, I have a feeling that there's going to be some serious mental health issues coming up, and probably drugs, alcohol, and I hate to say this, but there's probably going to be a spike in suicides. I, there's probably a lot of people that are thinking this. Like I said, I'm not a healthcare professional, but I'm willing to bet that there's probably a lot of people that are thinking this, but don't want to say it and don't want to even put it in people's heads. But it's something you need to look out for. When you want to sleep, when you feel there's just no purpose, no reason to get up. It's a bad feeling. That's when you need to get up the most. That's when you need to force yourself. If you don't feel like doing something, you really do need to force yourself to do it. I'm just saying, because it becomes easy, and a lot of times, like, looking back, the mistake I made is you make excuses. You tell yourself, I deserve this. I've worked hard for 5, 10, 20 years. I deserve a day or two. And a day or two will become 4 or 5 days, become a week, it'll become 2 weeks. And once you get into that zone, let's say 2 weeks, it becomes your new reality. And it's hard to switch back. It really is. And the more time that goes by, the harder it is to switch back. So my point here is just be careful. Do something creative, do something constructive every day, all day, as much as you can. And you'll feel a lot better. Um, don't don't give yourself time off. Uh, as they say, what do they say? Idle hands are the devil's workshop, right? Something like that. Well, it's true. All right, you guys have a good Monday. I've lectured enough. I hope I was helpful. It's stuff that worked for me. I hope it works for you. And I hope it keeps you safe. Stay healthy. All right, have a good Monday.